Alrighty, this is going to be, try number 3 for the video. We're going to do the 2.61 walkthrough. I'm using Bandicam this time, so hopefully it will work, and hopefully it's recording the right screen. But here we go. Okay, so this is 2.61. I'm doing this video today because the market just was dead, and then it just started going haywire. If you look through the charts, shit just went apeshit. That's a 115 pip move. Alright, so let's get in. Indicators you're going to have on the chart. I'm just going to go straight down the line. And we will add them in one at a time. If I could get the last one up there. TA. All you'll have to do is follow through the video. If you skip through the video and your charts don't look like mine, don't bug me, because we will be making some changes to the indicators. But getting going, the first one we have on the list, let's go in, and it's BO price. For this one, the only thing there is font size. I have it 25. It has been adjusted down, so make sure you download the new indicator pack. And if it says the file already exists, make sure you write over it, because this one has been adjusted so that it's down here, not up at the top up here. Okay, so BO price, you can set it to whatever you want there. I have it at 25. Next thing is SCMTF Bollinger. Each time I bring a screen up, I will leave it so you can pause the video, bring it up on your end, and just match the settings. Here is what I have. I'm not going to go through and read off each setting. Most of you, if you're watching this video, that means you have 2.0, so you've gone through the book. Once the dashboard comes out, I will be releasing a new book. So, because that is going to be a major update. Next one, cancel tab 3.1. This one you can play with a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into it. Here are the settings that I am running. Tab is the one that draws these little number 4s. The reason it's a number 4 is I tried out 5 different versions with different settings, and number 4 performed the best. So that's why there's a number 4 there. I forgot to change it back to an arrow, but just so you know. And up next we have TA Fib SR. And once we get the settings done, I'll go through each indicator and explain them. 1 hour, you can do whatever colors you want. That's what I picked. And then we're going to go back through, like I mentioned. We'll go through each indicator, how it works. Daily open line. Okay, CL market overview. That's the dots. I'll leave it here for a second, then I'll scroll down to the bottom so you can catch the bottom half. Short Murray math lines. Make sure these top 2 settings are correct. Yes, that's how it is. It is a different indicator than you're used to. That way you can change colors to whatever you want. And line width if you want. But with it being like this, you really don't need to. TA Daily Fibos. That is column number 3. Again, once we're done with this, I'll go through and explain how these are put together, how they work, okay? And let me get some coffee while y'all are looking at this screen. This is TA Pivots. It is line number 2 here. Regression cog, you should all know what that is. It is the center of gravity. It's the colors here. Colors, I did do dark slate gray because I didn't want to see the lines all bright and beautiful. MWD high-low, this is our monthly, weekly, daily highs and lows. There you go. Remember, we've disabled daily. I'll explain why in a bit. Or previous day. Short 1, 2, 3 pattern version 2. Expect a version 3. I have noticed that this thing will drift to the left. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't mean the indicator itself, I mean that the numbers will lose their place here. See how they're nice and pretty here? They'll end up over here for some reason. I'm aware of it. Thank you for everyone for bringing it up to my attention. And it will go into the next coding batch in February. Whew. Now I'm choking on coffee. This is Sweet Spots Gold. It's a nice indicator. Those are your settings. You can adjust it to show more, but this is what I prefer. RHL. This is something you may or may not have. All this is recent high and lows. It's an alert I use because since I do dabble around with different time frames, it will give you an alert when a recent high or low is breached. I'm going to put it in there, but I need to work on it because the alert doesn't tell you the pair that reached the recent high-low, and I didn't notice that until I started using it again. So I have to go in and fix that, but I'll throw it in there just for the hell of it. There will be hopefully by the time I throw it in, it'll be fixed, and it'll tell you the pair. vCustom 3. I have dynamic turned on, so let's mark that to false. Sorry about that. Now, while we're on vCustom 3, sometimes when you do click it and you don't get bars at the bottom, just switch time frames. Go to M1 back to M5 and vCustom will redraw for you. Okay, so there's your settings. Remember, value bars to check. Keep it at 50, 75 unless you got a beast of a computer, or it will drag you down. It will slow your computer down like crazy. I'm using stochastics 1433. It's supposed to be close. I don't know how it got that way. And simple. And last one, TA confirm. If we go into edit, remember on colors, this one's important. Inputs, we don't care, they're all correct. Colors though, none. Spring green, red, none. I'm reading that one off because I keep seeing people have it wrong on their charts. You can do levels, just instead of deleting them, just go to none. And it gives you a nice clean one there. For stochastics, I might have missed that. Levels, I have 95 and 5. Okay, so I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's do this. I'm going to take a picture of the screen. This way I can draw on it and make a mess. And let me get the indicator window open. Okay, so the first one's BO price up here. BO price is just ask plus bid divided by 2. It is more in the lines of an indicator to let you know when your broker is screwing around with you. If price doesn't somewhat match up to that from your broker to there, you know something is wrong, and I would probably halt trading. You would not want to really trade it because something's going on with your broker then and prices aren't matching. Next one, SCMTF Bollingers. We did that. Bollingers are right here. They're the red and blue lines. Quite simply, it's the Bollinger Bands. It works exactly the same as TA2, so there's not too much to go over that. Just make sure you use them the same way. They are part of your confluence. If they're breached, it's just another confluence reason. Remember, when you have constriction like this, to watch out for a breakout. You have, like I was taught, this is like the barrel of a gun. When price God damn. When price exits the barrel, and think of it like an old musket, here's it opening up, then the bullet's going to go up or down, and price shoots up or down. Okay, next one we have TA Fib SR. That is these boxes here. Let me go back to the normal chart for you. TA Fib SR is Fibonacci support and resist. It's these boxes. This is done on an hourly basis. they redraw at the top of each hour. So at 10 o'clock, these boxes will vanish from your chart. Don't get all stressed out or send me messages saying, oh my god, it disappeared. It's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. From 10 o'clock to 10:05, they will redraw. They're there to basically give you the range for the last hour. This is your 100 area, and this is the 127 to 161. So that hopefully explains that one. Let me bring up the indicator list again. Okay, daily open line, which is this yellow line. The daily open line just is exactly what it says. It's the daily open for your broker. It will vary from person to person. If you're using Trader's Way, it'll be different from an Awanda open. This is based off the US Open. You can go in and edit it with GMT and put -6, +6, whatever to match your conditions, but I would recommend just leaving it at whatever your broker is. It's another line of confluence. It is a very good support and resist line, basically. So next one we have the market overview. Market overview is up here. What we have is M1, M5, M15, and M30. My God, I don't know why I can't talk today. We have RSI, stochastics, and Bollinger Bands. So right now what this is saying is RSI, stock, and BB on the 1 minute chart, so let's take a look at it. My God. Sorry, I have the indicator window open on the other screen so I don't get lost. On the 5 minute, nothing is really maxed out here, but if we go to the 1 minute, God, my computer's crawling. Now I'm not responding. That's just lovely. I have no idea why my computer's acting so crappy lately. But if we look at it on the 1 minute, it's saying RSI. Here's stochastic, so you can see it is pretty much maxed out. You could actually take a 1 minute trade off this. We have, what, 1, 2, 3. I've been getting several questions about TA, what time frames it works on. I prefer the 5 minute because it gives you plenty of time to look at a chart and get into a trade, out of a trade, and make a decision. Ooh, sorry. Okay, so the 1 minute means RSI was maxed down here. Stock was 2, Bollinger Bands. As we can see, it hadn't breached them. I'm running a setting of 3. These are 2.75, so I have this one set to be a little less aggressive. Trying to think what else. So that basically covers that. Make sure you set it up right because the colors are color coordinated to match up with everything else. Let's go back to 5 and hopefully the computer won't freeze up. This is basically just to give you an overall picture of what's going on other time frames, because if M1, M5, M15, and M30 are all red or all green, you know the probability of... There's two things that could be happening. The probability of a reverse when they're all lit up across the board is a little bit higher, or let's say you have M30 and M15 red, but these aren't, then you're most likely in a heavy trend. Sorry about the yawning. But it's a good idea. It's a good way to just get a general feel for the overall market across several time frames at once. If I come up with hiccups, I'm stopping. Okay, so the next one is short Murray math lines, and let's get into this. Okay, so what we have with 2.6, and I'm going to draw a little square here. This would be called your, I guess, confluent zone. Everything in this box is what you should be lining up to have multiple reasons to trade with. I highly recommend having at least core qualified plus 2 reasons to trade with. Do they have to line up perfect? No, but price needs to be breaching or damn near close to them. The first line of your first item up for bid, I guess, in the confluent zone is Murray math lines. They're the ones on the far right. Murray math lines just basically, they look at the previous movement, they divide the chart up into 8 sections to give you support and resistance. The second one up we have, these are your pivots. Remember, weekly pivot is an extremely strong one, daily pivot's extremely strong. The higher the number, the weaker. So here's a daily pivot is our strongest. DR1 would be a little bit weaker, DR2 would be a little bit weaker, and DR3 even weaker. Remember, though, the idea is we line up several of these together. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a bit. Next up, we have daily fibos, and these are the daily fibos from the previous day. They should also be 161, 100, 61.8. They're your key levels. 127's there because it is an okay level. It's not a super strong one, but it's nice to have it in there. The last one in your the second to last one in your confluence zone is the current Fibo swing, and then we have round numbers. If you don't know how to use Fibos, I have several videos on Fibos. Just hit me up and I'll point you over to the videos so you can run through them and learn them. But basically, key areas on Fibos are the 0, the 100, and the 161. Don't complicate it too much. This little aqua line here is probable reversal point. It's done off a calculation from a Ken Chow system. The last thing we got, again, round numbers. So let's take a look at the confluence zone. What do we have? We have these three right here. Your daily Fibos, your pivots, and your Murray math lines are all institutional trading levels. That's why if you can line up 2 or 3 of these together, it is wonderful. I mean, you will be doing very well if you can just line these up together and then trade when it's overbought, oversold, well, core qualified. When it's core qualified, and you can line some of those up. The next thing you have are round numbers, which they're always there. Again, these are static levels for the day. Your Murray math lines, your pivots, and your daily Fibos are static numbers for the day. The non-static ones that we have are your TA, the fib support and resist, the boxes. Those are hourly. They update every hour. Then within the hour, we have your Fibo lines here. So by combining current market conditions with your Fibo support and resist, the boxes, and the Fibo lines, along with the static conditions, you should be able to pick up some high probability trades. As long as you're ranging, you're not in a crazy ass trend, and you're not trading off some extremely large spikes. Trying to think what else. That covers all those. The regression cog, as we can see it, and this is somewhat of a good example. Let me flip through the charts and see if I can find a better one. That one's dead flat. None of them are really constricted. One of the things you're looking with the center of gravity is, as long as it's evenly spaced, that means that the algorithm that runs the center of gravity is able to keep up with market conditions. If you see the center of gravity looking like somebody put their hand around it and they're squeezing it and it's no longer evenly spaced, that would be a warning that market conditions are getting a little bit volatile, and you probably want to stay out of it. Let the center of gravity even back out and adjust to market conditions. Right now, market conditions just blow, and not because the center of gravity. Just, if you can look, we had here again we have the barrel. Bullet came out and shot downwards. It looked like it was going to spike up, but spiked down. Most importantly, what you'd want to be aware of here is that we had a bullet coming out of the barrel. Then we're expecting a breakout. Okay, so the next thing, once you have TA 2.61 loaded up, if you do not see 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, I'm going to flip the trades just for the hell of it and see if we can't line up a little bit. Okay, so we have, this is Euro USD. Now, off these market movements, I am not expecting anything. Is this a trade I would take? We have value charts. Stock is weak. We have a confirm down here. What do we have? And let's look where price has been. What do we have here? Price just touched around. It just touched our probable reversal point. Previous day high and a daily Fibo 100. Same thing. We have a pivot line 1 and we have TR Murray math line. I'm not going to worry about what that stands for. I abbreviated everything. We have 250 something left in the trade. Do we want to take this? If it was a normal market condition, yes. So let's take a screenshot and let's go and edit it, and let's review the reasons why on a normal day, not today, why this would have been a good trade. and by the time I'm done, maybe we can go back and look at it. Entry was super early. Remember, you're going to try and wait until, if you can, the last 10 to 15 seconds to get in so your price doesn't get overrun. We'll go back and look. Remember, that's where I entered, slightly above the round number. Let's go back and look and see by entering early if price would have got ran over. But on this chart, and let me get it so we can work with it. On this chart, what were our reasons again? Here's the blue box, and we basically, this is the trap we're looking for. It's a confluence trap. What were our confluence reasons? Number one, I'm going to number them, and then we'll go back and look at them. Let's put it here. 6. Believe I caught all of them. And then I'm going to look at the negative aspects of this trade also. Okay, so price came down. We were core qualified. You can tell price is out of whack. I mean, this is a 115 pip move, so I definitely wouldn't be trading it. But let's just look at the concept of it. This is an excellent trap. The reason it's hitting so many is because of the size of the candles. Typically you wouldn't see this, but what that is, a 25 pip candle, Jesus. No, that's why it's catching so many levels. But just for teaching purposes, it is an excellent way to look at it. So let's line up how many reasons do we have to take this trade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All good reasons. What's the negative side of this? The market looks like shit. That's 1. Over here, our stochastics isn't lighting up. Our Bollinger Band isn't lighting up. M15 and M30, if you want to take those into consideration, they're nowhere near overbought, oversold. But we have enough confluence here that you could run a Mack truck into the wall and it would probably bounce off it. Confirm Indi highlights it, value chart shows it, stochastics makes me worry a little bit. It's in the lower half of the Bollinger Bands. But again, we just had a huge widening, so that doesn't concern me too much. On a normal chart, it would, because I would want to see it closer to the Bollinger Bands. But this is what you're looking for when you take a trade. If it was just a round number, no, that's one reason. You have core, which is already giving you 2 reasons. It's in the cog, and it's overbought, oversold. All overbought, oversold means is look at the chart. If you look at the chart and it's overbought, oversold here, but you have none of this sitting here, but it's sitting down here, then wait. If price keeps dropping, you're going to be overbought, oversold again. Then you can jump into the trade. What I'm seeing is a lot of people are taking value charts that, like, oh my god, it's overbought, oversold, I have to get into the trade. And I'm seeing people make up reasons to jump into the trade. Don't make up reasons. Follow. If the levels aren't there, then there is no confluence on the trade and there's no reason to get into the trade. And seriously, the majority of the issues I see with people are you're putting so much weight onto value charts. All this value charts is an alert to get you to look at the chart and decide, is there a reason to take a trade? Overbought, oversold doesn't mean shit. Overbought, oversold can go on for 1, 7, 8, 10 candles. Really is not a reason to take a trade. The confluence is your reason to take a trade. Again, overbought, oversold, your value charts alert, all that is it's a reason to look at the chart. It's your trigger to go look at the chart and say, do I have a trade? If you don't have confluence, you don't have a trade. Pass on it. You can sit here and wait, though. Wait till the next candle. See if price keeps dropping down. And let's say all these were down here. Then wait for it to hit your levels. Then get in the trade. Don't be in a rush to get into the trades. Like I say, wait for the trades to come to you. Don't be in a rush. You'll do a lot better that way. So hopefully that explains what we're doing here. Let's look through the charts real quick. Part of your pre-trading prep that we're going to look at, and then I'll go into setting up the charts a little bit more before I forget. Here's our trade. We'll come back to it. This is Euro with a super early entry. Remember, we would not have had entry on this, so you would have been a wait. Again, we're overbought, oversold here, but we're not here. It's no longer core qualified. Okay, well, if I can remember what the hell it's going to show you now. Oh, we're going to look at the charts. So when you're pre-trading prep, what should you be doing in the morning? And again, if I find it, I really, and if anyone has one or finds one that works, I want a horizontal line alarm, which is either an Indi or this, so that I can put a line on the chart like this, and when price hits it, we receive an alert. will help out a lot for what I'm about to show you. So let's look through and see. What we're looking for now is, I guess, like I said, for you to be able to set a trap. We're looking for, and you can set how you want to mark this, 2 or 3 reasons together from the static column. So what's our static column? Murray math lines, daily pivots, daily fibos, and round numbers. Current fibos in the box, the TA support and resist fibos, these boxes, and the current swing do not matter. We're only going to focus on what you can actually see on the chart here. And just to help you out with this, let's get rid of anything you're not going to be looking at. Okay, so for pre-trading prep, what we want to see, and there's this, what I was talking about. See how it's not lined up? I don't know why it does it. I'm going to send it back to the coder, but now you know. Okay, so for pre-trading prep, what we're going to be looking at is what you see on the chart here. Everything else I don't give to a rat's ass about. We don't care. So let's go through. Do we see any traps we can set up? We have daily FIBO 161.8 and daily support 2. We could put a line there, and this is why I say if we can get a horizontal line alert, this will be so nice. Because then when price hits that, whether it's overbought, oversold, or not, we'd want to know about it. We have 1, 2, 3 things here. A weekly pivot with a Murray math line. So what do we want to do? I draw it right then smack dab in the middle because we got 1, 2, 3 reasons there. So here's another trap set for price. If we keep going, now if you're having issues, if you push the middle, if you have a mouse wheel and you push down on it, or I believe it's Control F, you'll get this crosshairs up. So just move your crosshairs up. Here's a round number. Do we have anything around it? Not too much. We have Murray math line and a daily FIBO. You could there, but nothing spectacular. And as we move up, we don't see much. We do get, and let me squeeze it down a little. We have daily FIBO 100 and weekly high up here, which we could mark. And other than that, I would say the only other one I would be interested in is right here. We have 1, 2, 3 close together. So we set 3 traps on this chart. Let's take a look. Here's weekly pivot. And if it keeps coming down, look, we're not too much overbought, oversold. I'm going to mark this as a watch, and we'll come back to it as I see if we can find any more traps. So just because I was watching this one, if price hits here, we would have been in. Let's ignore the fact that overbought, oversold. It's a trap. Let's see how well it responds to a trap area. If we look, it did hit the weekly pivot, so if it was overbought, oversold for me, that's a potential jump in. Let's take a look at a couple more, see if we can look at traps. Indicator list. Let's kill the stuff that you don't need. And this is an ugly one. As we can see on movement, we had news and some crazy moves. I'm going to kill the stuff up in the top corner this time so we can see a little bit more. And 1, 2, 3. Let's get rid of that in case it pops up. Okay, so again, this is what you're focusing on when we're looking for traps for the day. For me, right away, we have a daily pivot and a weekly pivot, daily FIBO 161.8 lined up. Put it in the middle. Now for the horizontal line alert, what I'm looking for is a proximity alert on it. I want it to say when price is within 1 pip of that line, I want to know. Because a lot of the time, since your traps are going to be dealing with 3 different areas, or 2 different areas, we want it to be able to pop when something is close, not when it hits, because by then it might be too late. We look up here, we have another excellent trap. We have a monthly pivot, daily resist 2, and 161.8. We have a daily FIBO and a round number and a weekly low. That's where price is hitting right now. We're not overbought, oversold though. Let's look at value charts. Value charts is screwing up. What do? M1, I'm going to lose my traps because I'm switching time frames. And again, I'm freezing up. I hate you, computer. I think this might be Bandicam because it never freezes up on me like this, and hopefully that doesn't cause it to go out of sync. Well, while it's doing that, let me close this. want to save the screenshot? No. We're really stuck in not responding. Okay, so this is the... Still not there. M1. Hopefully this will give you the idea about the traps. Once that's done... if it ever unfreezes. I do not believe that. You know what? I'm just going to close it, reopen it. Close the program. Cancel. Okay, so while that's opening back up, the next thing I'm going to show you is since we've shortened them up to make room on the chart, one of the things you're going to need to do is be able to set up your chart. Once you load up the template, the first thing you're going to need to do is see if all four of your... Thank you, Mr. Noisy. We want to see if all four of these show up on the chart. Remember, you should have Murray math lines, your pivots, your daily fibos, then your current fibo swing, and your round numbers. If they are not showing up, what you want to look at, and it's up here at the very top, is you see this little thingy pointing down there? That's your chart shift. What you want to do, and let's say you load up your charts and they look like... I can never grab this thing. So if you load up your charts and they look like this, and you see, well, here's my current fibo, here's my daily fibos, and here's my pivots, but I don't see my Murray math lines. Just grab your little chart shift, move it over two. Oh, they're showing up. Maybe two more. And one more. You're moving it over one candlestick each time is all you're doing. Okay, so now everything's on the chart. So let's take a look real quick. So that's how you adjust the chart. Let's take a look at Euro, see what happened on that trade. That was it right here where we had looked at early entry. That would have been your result. We're hitting a it's barely overbought, oversold again. God, this is ugly. Again, this is an ugly day. You can tell by how squished this is together. You shouldn't ever see all your Murray math lines on one chart. I'm trying to remember what was the other one we were looking at that I said we could probably take a trade on. Since I restarted, I lost all my pretty little traps. It was something with a monthly pivot lined up. I don't know. Hopefully you get the idea of how to now plot your traps. Again, if anyone finds a horizontal line indicator with an alert with a proximity in it, shoot it to me. Otherwise, I'll probably throw it into the coding batch for next month. Again, guys, be patient. Wait for the trades to come to you. Just because it's overbought, oversold doesn't mean jump in the damn trade. Wait for it to be overbought, oversold, and then hit your levels. Your confluence zone is your friend. If you don't have confluence, don't trade. We're looking for ranging markets. Again, not trending. And hopefully that pretty much sums it up. If I missed anything, I'll do a second video. Hopefully this one actually works. It is only 239 megabytes, so it shouldn't take too long to load up. But guys, that's pretty much your walkthrough. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Same thing as TA 2.0. We're not redesigning the wheel here. We just made the wheel prettier. Use your confluence zones. If you have questions about them, hit me up. And hopefully now you can get every thing fit onto your chart. One thing I didn't cover, if you zoom out, yes, these are gonna, I need to get a script written for these to redraw correctly on zoom out. So for now, deal with it. The script is gonna actually be pretty difficult to do. I don't want to deal with it yet. But that's it, guys. Hopefully this video will upload and work correctly and not crazy. But have a great day, and hit me up with any questions.